This is the podcast helping to create, provide, and expand
winners in life.
Positively life-changing experiences through music for all.
Go for it!
This is the podcast that encourages everyone to
break ranks!
It's fall. Marching band is back, and so is Break Ranks. Coming up on the first episode of the new season, we check in with the defending BOA Grand National Champions, the Avon Marching Black and Gold, with band director Matt Harloff.
When we see that trophy, I don't think we take it for granted at all.
Who believes, what's the point of all this hard work unless it's fun?
If you can enjoy the process, that's the most important thing.
And we'll ask Avon's head drum major if he feels the pressure of being a national champion.
It's a lot of pressure, but you've known your stuff. You worked so hard for all of this.
Because remember,
pressure is a privilege.
And it's a privilege for me to say once again, it's time to break ranks. Welcome back to the official podcast of the Bands of America Marching Band Championships. I'm Dan Potter, one of BOA's stadium announcers and a media personality for Music for All. And I'm so excited and happy to be back with you for another great season of marching music excellence. Each week on Break Ranks, we'll relive the highlights of the previous weekend of BOA performances. We'll look ahead at what's coming up this week, and we'll meet some of the students and educators who create the excellence that we'll see on the field this year. Now, since we're just getting started, we don't have any results to share this time, but I can tell you about the very first show on the Bands of America schedule this year. It's coming up this Saturday at Toledo, Ohio's famous Glass Bowl. It will be an early season test of some great bands from across Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, Iowa, even as far away as New York. The first band steps off at 11 Eastern Time Saturday morning. Get your tickets at musicforall.org or watch it live at fox5tv.com. As we start the 2024 Bands of America Championship season, we're kind of closing the loop from the 2023 season because, as has become, I guess, our tradition, you do things a couple of times, it's a tradition, right? We're starting out our Break Ranks season by talking to the 2023 Grand National Champions. And in this case, it's the Avon High School Marching Black and Gold. The director is Matt Harloff, and head drum major this year is Luke Sharp. Matt, welcome to Break Ranks. Welcome back.
Hey, Dan. Hey, everybody. And it's marching band season. Super excited.
Luke Sharp is the head drum major for the Avon Marching Black and Gold. Now, full disclosure, I already know Luke because I've had the privilege over the summer of spending a few days teaching the Avon High School Marching Black and Gold drum majors. And so Luke and I, we have some priors, don't we, buddy?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, that was fun.
Let me ask you, how's it gone since I left? How have rehearsals been, and how are the drum majors doing?
Honestly, we're running pretty smoothly right now, I feel like. We're really excited. Yeah, we're having a great time. We're doing our show. We're loving it so far.
We'll dip into exactly what Avon's going to put on the field this year in just a moment. But Mr. Harloff, do you concur the drum majors doing a good job?
They are doing a great job. Work well as a team, a lot of responsibilities. And most importantly, they seem to be having a great time. So all drum majors will always have, no matter where you are, you're always going to have a lot of responsibilities. But if you can enjoy the process, that's the most important thing, you know, and I see them doing that. So they're a great team, and that just helps Avon run smoothly and be as great as we can be.
I went back and listened to that final Break Ranks podcast from the 2023 season, Matt, and I had forgotten just how emotional it was for you, not only winning the fourth Grand National Championship, but also having your daughter Shaylin on the podium as drum major. I guess my question is, now that you've had the intervening winter and spring and summer, and we're back into another season, what has been the lasting effect of winning Grand Nationals? Is it something that it's nice, but a couple days later you're on to other things and it kind of gets forgotten about? Or is it something that, you know, is Kevin the Eagle a constant presence in the Avon Band Hall?
Well, yes, Kevin is a constant presence. It's something that I think that we honor. You know, we look at that as it's a traveling trophy that's been in many different band rooms and band halls across the country. And so when we see that trophy, we look at it as something that we honor. It's a privilege to have that in our band room. So I don't think we take it for granted at all. I think we cherish it, and we are honored to have Kevin in our band room. But there is a little bit of, you're always on to the next thing. With last year, we had a great winter season with all of our WGI groups. Our concert bands were awesome. And so it never ends, as a lot of band directors can relate to. And then I'm on to the summer, and, it really never ends. But at the same time, for me, with that personal connection of Shaylin being in the band last year in her senior year, that year was more personal. And again, I think it would be as special as, regardless of what place we got that night. I was just going to, as a father, and I did that with Tyson too, I was just going to enjoy, seeing my son a number of years ago and Shaylin last year. I was going to take the band director hat off and be a dad for a little bit and enjoy watching them perform at Grand National Finals. And I think that BOA does such a great job of making all finalist bands feel special, and it's a privilege of just being a finalist. And I think I went into that night, just wanting to enjoy watching my daughter perform on that stage, one more time. Now, that being said, I can't lie and say that, that we won certainly added to how special that was, but it wasn't the most important thing. I think right now it's, the pictures that we have of not only that night, but the whole year will be pretty special for myself, Susie, my wife, and our whole family for forever.
I probably should have explained, for those who don't know, Kevin is the nickname given to the giant alabaster eagle affixed atop of the BOA Grand Nationals Championship trophy. That's who Kevin is, if you don't know. All right, Luke, as drum major, I got a couple of questions for you about the legacy from last year. Number one, do you feel additional pressure being a defending national champion going into this season?
I mean, yeah, there's a little pressure, but I mean, we love performing this show. We love performing our shows. We're a lot more focused on our performance qualities and all of the things that make us us. And we're just really focused on the show right now. There's no pressure yet, but there could be.
Yeah. What do you think the presence of being, of having that trophy in the band hall and of being the reigning national champion, what was the rest of the year last year like? And does it, I guess you kind of addressed how it affects you this year, but I mean, could you say, hey, we're national champions? Was it a constant presence for you?
Yeah, I guess in a way. It's always really surreal to think about. I haven't really thought about it too much, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just always there. Yeah, that constant presence is there. Yeah, it's really surreal to think about. It doesn't really work up here very much. If that makes sense.
What has being drum major been like for you so far?
I love it. You get the best seat in the house. You always get the best view of your show. You get to experience it with everyone, but you have that different perspective, almost from the sidelines, but you're not. You're still in it. I love that part about being drum major. And you get to know everybody in the band. You don't just get to know your section or something. You really get to know everyone. It's such a top-down perspective that I love about being drum major.
All right, Mr. Harloff, what will the Avon Marching Black and Gold be putting on the field this season? Can you tell us about the show?
Can I first back up real quick?
Sure.
And I'll get to that for sure. But, when you asked Luke the question about Kevin and all that, he kind of reminded me of an awesome story from this past summer. And the reason why I say that is because, and I think I can speak for really anybody, if Kevin has had the honor of being in anybody else's band room, you often look at the past champions. And I had the honor of Crown was practiced at Marian Catholic this past summer. And Greg Bim was a consultant for our design team. And so he was obviously there.
Okay, can I stop right there and give folks a little bit of context?
Yes,
For those who don't know, Matt Harloff is the brass caption head for Carolina Crown Drum and Bugle Corps, a past world champion. I had a great season this past year. Greg Bim, the retired director of Marian Catholic High School, one of the winningest BOA programs in history. All right, so of course, the brass staff got up that day knowing we were at Marian Catholic, and immediately we're like, let's go find the band room. So we went to the band room, and
we called Greg, say, hey, you're coming here, right? And say, yeah, I'll be there for ensemble. And we actually ended up taking the whole brass line into the band room where Greg Bim spoke to the brass line for about an hour. Now, what was great was that the band room that we were sitting in during story time with Mr. Bim was the new addition. He took us through the band room that they had back in the day when Greg was around and they were winning those Grand National Championships and all of that. And it was just so cool. So I just wanted to say that, and I've seen the kids do this, but the amount of respect that our program and our students have for certainly everybody within Bands of America. But then when you look at that, you look at Kevin and you've seen all of those past champions and you see the greats like Marian Catholic. And I continue to say, if there was a Mount Rushmore of high school band directors, Greg Bim would be George Washington. And he probably would hate if he heard me say that, but it's all true.
Who would Jay Webb be?
That's a great question.
We got to figure that out. Former Avon band director and one of your predecessors.
Maybe a vice president somewhere. No, anyway, I just wanted to say that, the just amount of respect that all of the kids in the program have for all of the bands, and having Kevin around the band room has certainly reminded us of that. So anyway,
the show.
Yes, the show is based off of, I might say the name wrong. I guess if you see us Americans would say Peter, but I'm sure it's pronounced differently. But
it's Piet, isn't it?
Piet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Piet Mondrian.
The artist.
The Dutch painter and artist, Mondrian. So our show is based off of that artist. So when you see our show and it's in full costume and all that, a lot of stuff, I think people may not know who that is, but when you see his work, it's familiar.
Yeah.
That was it was kind of, for me, what that was like, oh, I've seen that before. So I think it'll be I think our audience will be able to relate to it because it'll look familiar. We decided to play some incredible music we've always wanted to do, and just now believe that we have the band that could really pull this off. Most of the music that we're playing is from Alfred Reed's Russian Christmas music.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be some incredible music. We've done an incredible job already with knowing what we know now, which is well over half of the show. So we're excited about that. And we think that, the crowd's going to love it. I think they're going to, relate to it both visually and certainly musically. It's one of the best pieces written. And as Luke said, there's an excitement again. And it's more important than the competition is enjoying what you perform. The staff enjoys working on it. There are challenges, of course, but we enjoy working on that. The students already, you can see how much they enjoy playing the music, performing, doing all the choreography and all that. So yeah, real excited. It's been fun.
Luke, do you echo what he says there?
Yeah, everything from marching band to concert band the past couple of years, I think we've really realized how important that is, that we're loving what we're doing. It just creates a certain energy that otherwise you couldn't match, no matter how clean you were.
Mr. Harloff told me at the end of last season that one of the goals the staff always has is by the end of the season, you don't want it to end. It's like that big family vacation you don't want to come home from.
Yeah, definitely the past few seasons with last year as well. It's always that for me.
What does the BOA experience and performing in BOA regionals, super regionals, and Grand National Championships, what does that mean to you personally, Luke? And what do you think as you grow up you're going to take from that?
Honestly, the whole experience, it's with being a drum major, you're literally thrown up on a pedestal in front of this huge audience that comes just to see you and all these other bands. And it's a lot of pressure, but you've known your stuff. You worked so hard for all of this, and it teaches you so many lessons. Like you say, what I'm going to take away from this the rest of my life. One thing band teaches you is it teaches you how to set your schedule for the day. Like when I get up, I need to have a plan for the rest of the day because I have band practice and I have all these other things that I have to do. And that's what band teaches you for life.
If you don't have a plan, other people are going to suffer for it. There are people on each side of you that are counting on you to have that plan and to execute it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Piet Mondrian, Matt, it occurred to me the other day that I have so many of my cultural references from marching band and drum corps. I don't know if I would know the story of Stravinsky's Rite of Spring without marching band and drum corps to teach it to me. I don't know if I would know anything about Piet Mondrian. I'd recognize his paintings because they're in popular culture, but I don't think I'd know anything about him or who he was without this reference, because several marching units have done shows about Mondrian. What do you think is the importance as a teacher, as an educator, of this kind of activity, teaching students about things beyond band?
Yeah, that's a great question. As you were just saying that, when I grew up, I was the same way. There was a lot of composers that I was introduced through drum corps, and I didn't know who Holsinger was until the cadets did them.
Right.
And so as an example, and not only that, but there's other references with different kinds of shows that people do. But for students, I think it adds to the overall educational experience and adds to the memories that they will create this marching band season. What was funny is that, after we announced to the students, hey, this is what our show is about. This is Mondrian, and the show's kind of based off of this. Within a couple weeks, Luke, you were one of them. All of a sudden, Luke shows up with a hat. There's all sorts of Mondrian, yeah, and of course, all our parents now have shorts and shirts of the artists of Mondrian, and it's like, holy smokes, look at this. We already have the swag.
Luke, did you have any awareness of Piet Mondrian before the show announcement?
I mean, I think I've seen the paintings before, but I didn't really have much knowledge about it. But after we heard the show themes and stuff, I went on Amazon and bought like the nearest thing that we saw, Yeah, it was funny.
Do you think band has taught you about things beyond band?
Yeah. It can all be related back to just your life. It teaches you so many, to rely on these people and there's so many things band teaches you. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think there's, the concepts of shows that we've done or the music that we play that certainly goes beyond band. But Luke is also kind of referencing, all of the lessons that we've learned that can be applied to anything that these kids will do in life. You talk about pressure, and, pressure is something that what I always say to the students is that pressure is a privilege. If you're going to have to learn, and Jay Webb would talk about this as well, you're going to have to learn how to deal with pressure. And it doesn't matter if you're coming to Grand Nationals for the first time, if you are going to be considered as a champion or a finalist, it doesn't matter, because all of the students that will perform in marching band will perform under pressure. You have hundreds, sometimes thousands of people watching you. But that pressure it's an honor to have that. You got to look at it that way. Pressure, as you talk about it as a negative thing. And it's only negative if you're not prepared. If you're prepared, it's just like taking a test. If you're prepared, you're going to have pressure of doing well on the test. But if you know your stuff, you're going to nail it. And it's that privilege of having that pressure. So we look at those things as educational moments. Like, this isn't only going to help us in the wonderful game that we play called marching band. This is going to help you be great at whatever you are going to be a professional in, and being able to perform under pressure and deal with people and create a list of things to do, as Luke was saying, and all that. So there's so many lessons that we all teach. And I think I'm speaking for all bands and directors out there that go beyond just playing right notes, straight lines, catching your rifles, and it goes well beyond that to help the young be great at whatever their life is going to be 15, 20 years from now. And what I just want them to have it be filled with unforgettable memories.
If you're a student and you take nothing else away from this podcast, these 4 words: pressure is a privilege. Man, that's powerful, Matt and Jay. Thank you both for that. And Luke, thank you, both of you. Good luck in 2024. We look forward to seeing Mondriesque on the field. And thanks for joining us on Break Ranks.
Hey, good luck, everybody out there. Have a great time. Thanks for having us, Dan. Appreciate it.
Yep, thanks for having us.
Matt Harloff, director, and Luke Sharp, head drum major of the defending and four-time Bands of America Grand National Champion, the Avon Marching Black and Gold from Avon, Indiana. I'm Dan Potter, back with another Break Ranks next Wednesday. Until then, go for it. Break Ranks.